Hi, Bill. How are you today? Ah, I can't hear you. No, I don't hear you. No.
Not to use my earphones
Yeah.
now.
No, it's
Okay.
working.
But it doesn't work. It doesn't work with my earphones, which is rather strange.
Yeah. Are you connected with your cell phone or with your computer?
On my cell phone.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's strange. First time it's happening. Well, I'm sorry because I was late. I was running, actually. I'm in
No, don't.
holidays. I was in the beach today. Sorry about that.
So I saw that. I saw that on your stories, and I'm thinking, oh wow, she's having quite a good time doing her job.
Yes, exactly. But I don't have time to talk about great destination. So today we're
Yeah,
going in Kenya. Hi,
exactly.
in GP. Hi, thanks for coming. I'm late, but I don't know where they are. I'm sure they will arrive during the live. So I think I will
Okay.
introduce you anyway. I'm happy to have you here, Bill. Thank you for being here.
Happy to be
I
here.
present you. So you hold the master degrees in economic and business from Sciences Po Paris, as well as bachelor degrees in political science and economics from the same institution. So you're a strong believer in the power of collaboration. You bring your skills and expertise to the Kenya French Business Club. Wow. Where you
Yes,
lead strategy and development as Chief Operating Officer. It's
exactly.
nice. Wow. You're passionate about the transformative power of technology. You worked as a business and development consultant where you accompany clients in navigating today's dynamic socio-economic environment. You are a music lover, an
Yeah.
avid dancer. I would love to see you dancing. And travel enthusiast. Me too. Other interests include fine cuisine, philosophical debate. Oh, me too. The athletics on horse riding. Your dynamic, open-minded, and highly adaptable individual thinking to transform lives through collaborating. So that's a introduction. I'm happy to know all of that about you. Thanks again for being here. I would like to ask at the beginning, hi Isabel, what's the situation in Kenya? Tell us more.
Right now, I would say it's rather uncertain. It's rather uncertain as with everywhere in the world. But I would say, that uncertainty came to Kenya a bit later than everywhere in the world as the wave of coronavirus hit it a bit later. From what I get is that there's a lot of testing going on, and more cases are being found. More positive cases are being found, and so they have to play it safe. Find the balance between putting up restrictions to curb the spread of the virus, as well as having measures to allow for the economy to keep turning. So I think really the challenge for the government and for the people of Kenya right now is finding that sweet spot in between.
Wow. And do you
Yeah.
know if the borders are open now or not yet? Is it possible?
Right now, the borders are not open, from what I've heard. International flights out of Kenya and into Kenya begin on the 1st of August. So that's in 2 days.
Okay.
This Saturday. So yeah, as from this Saturday, then you would have borders open and people could travel into and out of Kenya on international flights.
Okay. So you have to tell us if I go to Kenya, what should I do? Where do I go?
Oh, really? I mean, that's the beauty of Kenya. It's so diverse in its peoples and its environment that it really caters for everyone. It's no surprise that Kenya is one of the leading tourist destinations in the world. Given for its culture as well as its as its landscapes, animals, and just natural beauty. You know, I think there's a lot of natural beauty that a lot of people love and enjoy about Kenya and the region as well. So it really depends on what kind of person you are. If you love, you know, the very metropolitan hype environment of a large city, you know, you have Nairobi, where it's very vibrant, it's very dynamic, big startup environment. So it's a good place for somebody who really likes the city vibe. If you love being out in nature, being a bit more tranquil, a bit more calm, you know, then there's the beautiful beaches and the incredible nature and national parks, you know, with all the animals and the quiet and calm of the wilderness. So there's all of that, and there's such a big diversity of climate and landscape that you would find everything that you're looking for. But one thing you have to try is to enjoy this natural beauty. You know, go to the beach in the south. You know, in the southeast, you have Mombasa, you have Diani, you have the north coast, you have the south coast. You absolutely have to try it, and you also have to go deeper into the interior to the national parks and the reserves, the national reserves, the national park, the lakes around central and western Kenya. You have to try both. You know, a bit of the coast and a bit of the interior, I would say.
Wow. So, okay, is it only about nature? I won't say that. I'm sure you have plenty of things to do, because when I think about Kenya, or what I've studied about Kenya, was not only but most about safari.
Yes.
So the possibility to discover the big five, I'm sure they are there, and
Yeah.
the animals and the landscape, and but can I see any architecture in Nairobi and anything specific?
Yes. I mean, I think on that point of nature is the biggest selling point of Kenyan tourism. And it's not surprise, you know, for somebody who has grown up there and who goes, you know, to on these safaris from time to time. It is absolutely breathtaking. I remember the first time I went out on safari as an adult, you know, where I had all my faculties, I could really absorb, and I'd also participated in a lot of philosophical debate on the question of what is beauty, the notion of the sublime and things like that. And so I could really appreciate this nature. I almost shed a tear, you know, just thinking about how beautiful it was. So I'm not surprised, you know, that Kenya is sold first and foremost as a destination where nature is incredibly beautiful. On other things such as architecture, I would say, you know, there's a lot of history, but then you would find that history goes back only until the colonial period, or you know, the arrival of the white man on the African continent. So you have the cities coming up and the major towns. But even though, you know, it's also pretty interesting, you know, to see that morphing, you know, of that pre-colonial and colonial period. And you can see it in the culture, you know, you can see it in the way people live, you know, not mostly in the building, you know, because all that is rather Western technology, but then just in the incorporation of these two cultures to form a mix, you know, of traditional Kenyan and whatever the Western world was able to bring onto the continent. So you'll find this, you know, you'll find that adaptation of the local people, and I think it's also something very interesting to observe, you know, for someone who visits.
And actually, I'm thinking, because you're talking about history, so I think maybe we'll come back about that. But I was thinking about the people. Where should I stay? I mean, what type of accommodation you will recommend in order for me to meet the local, you know, and to live the true experience of Kenya and meeting the people living there?
I would say, if you're a very adventurous person, try to spend some time with locals, or try to spend as much time as you can with locals. You know, because then you get really the full experience. And Kenyans are very welcoming people. You know, in general, you could meet somebody at the airport, and they invite you over for lunch with their family or something like this. You know, and it is through this that they introduce you to other people who are who they know, you know, and you start creating a bit of a network, you know. So if you're adventurous like that, you know, try to spend as much time with the locals. They'll show you, you know, how they live. They'll show you all the best spots, you know, for I don't know, nightlife and going out, you know, to enjoy and celebrate, you know, life with other people. So try that as much as you can. If you're less adventurous, you know, get a hotel. You know, there are some very affordable hotels. You can stay in that tourist bubble, but I strongly recommend, you know, from time to time having a chat with a local, maybe at the restaurant, you know, or somebody who even works at the hotel you're staying at. You know, try to talk to them. They'll always have something to show you that you cannot find online. You know, you cannot find online, or you cannot find through maybe agencies that you find in your home country. And the hotels and places to stay absolutely everywhere around the country, from very affordable budgets to luxury travel. You know, really talking 5-star experiences. So you know, you have that whole spectrum of places to stay and hotel prices and experiences that you can enjoy. It's really for everyone. There's something for everyone. And that.
Yeah, you talked about so much, so many questions at the same time. I think I will go with the question of cordial hotels on the chat. Is Kenya
Yeah.
safe and good for nightlife?
Yes. I would say it's quite safe, and you know, Kenya has really worked a lot on its security profile. You know, just internally and also with partnerships with other governments who are also fighting against rising insecurities in the Horn of Africa. I think there's a lot of military partnerships with the French, with the Americans, and also internally there's a lot of work that has gone to reinforce security, given the history of some attacks that you've had, or Al Shabaab retaliating for Kenya participating in the fight against terrorism. But when you go onto the ground, these are very exceptional cases, and it's sad that things like this happen from time to time. But I insist that it's still quite exceptional. And I fortunately have never been in a situation where I felt unsafe, in Kenya. So I must say it's a quite safe place to be, and people are very friendly, very vibrant, and whatever happens, sometimes it's very exceptional. And I think the government has done a lot to make sure that this don't happen again, or occur frequently.
Is it possible to travel alone? I mean, is it can I go there alone and go everywhere I want? You mean safely? Do I have to definitely go in a tour with some specific organization or not?
Yes, you could definitely go alone. You could do this solo backpacking trip that that people love to do. During my time there, I have met a lot of people from Germany, from France, who are traveling alone. And they come to a backpacker's place, or at a hotel, to spend a night or two before going on to their next destination. Talking to them, I before even did not know that it was possible like that. I've never had of many people actually doing solo trips in Africa like that. It's either always in a group of 2 or 3. But I've met people who've done it. They just have their bags, and they came to Kenya for 3 or 4 weeks, and they travel around. Usually they make friends on the first day they arrive, And so they kind of find a group there, and sometimes they leave a group or go to the next destination, find another group. So it's not hard to integrate. You know, you'll be traveling solo, but you'll never be alone, actually. You know, you didn't come there with somebody, but you always have the opportunity, if you
Yes.
want to travel with people and be around people. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, definitely. Everywhere you go and you meet travelers and you can travel with them all the time. So you share the same passion. Other question from the chat: how many nights should we be spending in Masai Mara?
Oh, as many as you can. I mean, once you go there, once you go there, you will not want to leave. Trust me. It's food for the soul. You know, you fall in love with the place as soon as you arrive. But I would say ideally try 3 nights. You know, 3 nights is sufficient enough, because then you also need to have that early morning experience, where it's a bit chilly and the sun is coming up. Spectacular sunrise in the Mara Plains. And it's also in these morning hours that you have a lot of action. You know, if you're into that sort of thing, watching animals hunt and stuff like that. And it can also be sometimes difficult to spot all the animals that you want to, especially the big five, in one day. So you need at least 2 or 3 days, you know, to be able to see them all, and not just to see them, but also get to see them in action, which is usually in the mornings before the sun gets too hot, and also in the evenings, so that you can see them and also see the magnificent sunsets that you have in that area. Yeah.
Yeah, so best time to go, it's at the very early in the morning or very late, or maybe in the evening.
Yeah.
Too hot.
Yeah.
Go out.
Even in your when you book, you know, with maybe a travel agency, or you know, whoever is taking you for the game drives, you'll find that usually they tell you that you have morning drive and evening drive, right? So you know, they know exactly, you know, what times are best to see these animals. And so they always suggest morning and evening. In the afternoon, you know, you can enjoy yourself, maybe have a cocktail by the pool at the hotel, you know, because the weather can get quite hot, and you know, you also want to, you know, chill and listen to the sounds of the Mara, and you have a lot of that. So and also get to know some people, you know, around, just to chat, and then in the evenings you can go out on the drive and see some action.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I will plan. Like, I'm listening. I'm like, okay. So tell me, what's the best period to come and visit Kenya?
The best period, I would say, is, wait, let me just find something I put. Around June to August. June to August. This is where you have. I think you've had the rains of the rather cool period of June, July, and so you have a lot of animals mating season. You know, it is the mating season, and the reproduction cycle has begun. So there's a lot of action. You know, there's a lot of activity. There's a lot of things going on, and that is when you also get the migration of the wildebeest, you know, which I think is a wonder of the world. And so the migration of those wildebeest brings with it a lot of predators who come now to hunt and also reproduce on these grounds where you have a lot of wildebeest. And so, you know, I would say June to August, and sometimes into September. I think October is also nice as well, but it can get quite hot, and there's not as much, I don't know, greenery. You know, it's quite dry. Yeah, so you probably want to enjoy some of that greenery, and also, you know, see all the animals come out for grazing and hunting and things like that. It can get really beautiful, you know, with the fresh grass.
That's interesting, because on the chat they were asking for October, but if it's too dry and you don't see the animals like in action like that, well, it's nice to know. So basically, this is currently the nice period to go. So I think I don't know if someone playing in the last minute for this August or next year, probably. maybe better to travel next year or to organize. All right. Okay, so we talked about a lot of stuff. I was thinking about, you said you talked about the local. So
Yeah.
I think I will ask the languages that you talk there. What are the official languages? And if I know for the persons, I don't know. I'm French. I go to Kenya. I don't know. Is anyone able to speak French? I don't think so.
Well, in Kenya, people speak, well, you have the official language, you know, which is language used for documentation and things like that. Official, it's English, right? But then you have the Swahili language, which is the national language, you know, the language for national cohesion. So if you can speak Swahili, you know, all the better, all the better for you, because then it's very easier. It's much easier to get integrated, you know, and Kenyans, I think, love when somebody can speak a bit of Swahili. You know, it's always very amusing for them. But if you can speak English, which is a very international, if not the most international language, then I think you're quite okay. And you also have ethnic languages, you know, ethnic tribes. We have, I think, about 40, 42, 43 now, with the Hindu, which was actually incorporated as a 43rd tribe of Kenya. So don't be surprised, you know, if some people are speaking their ethnic languages and don't speak English very well, you know, especially if you go deep into the village, you know, that will definitely arrive. But in general, most people speak English, understand English, and it's very easy to get someone to translate, you know, from English to Swahili, in case you're interacting with somebody who does not understand.
All right. Okay. Tell us more about the history then. You talked a little bit at the beginning, so maybe we can go further on it.
Yes, I mean, Kenya, I think there's a wealth of history that is not documented, you know, that is not documented or that has not yet been uncovered, because then, you know, like techniques or methods of conserving history did not go into writing, you know, and you didn't have or much of that history did not survive up to the modern era. So many times, you know, when you study or look into the history of Kenya, then you would be told that, oh, Kenya began, which is not false, in 1963 when the country got its independence from colonial Great Britain. And that's when, you know, it was consolidated as a nation or as the nation as the state of Kenya. But before that, you know, you had all these tribes, you know, living side by side, the 43 that I mentioned, trading with each other, intermarrying with each other, you know, having learned to live in relative peace, I would say, with each other, which continues still up to this day. And so I don't think it has been very challenging for them to live together as a new state of Kenya, because then they are very complementary, you know, different skills, different perspective, different ways of seeing life. And so as a Kenyan, you're used to having another point of view, you know, to have a different perspective, because then, you know, you have all these people living together who have to, I don't know, compromise on language or traditions and things like that. And so I think that the diversity aspect of Kenya is one of the things I'm most proud of, because it has always been there, you know, since the beginning of time. And so much of this is incorporated into the history and also into modern day Kenya, where, you know, people just continue to live together like this, and there's so much to explore as a Kenyan, even without having to go outside your border. I think historically that is I think one of the most interesting factors. And you can explore these cultures, you know, up to this day. I think there's a lot of work that has gone into preservation of culture and cultural heritage from the central region, you know, where you have the largest tribe in Kenya, the Kikuyu, to the coast, the birthplace of Swahili. So, you know, you have all that, and it's been preserved, I would say, rather well. And even if you have all this modern history, you know, that comes with the heritage of colonialism, then it is still underlying, and you can always find it if you look hard enough, or if you let yourself, if you open yourself up, you know, to receiving it and to seeing it for what it is. Yeah.
Wow. That sounds great. No, I have to go to Kenya. I have a friend that she told me to go, and I could not, but I really have to plan it. So, you know, I'm doing the interview, and I'm like, okay, as soon as I have all this information, I'm planning to travel next year. So basically, I think I'm going to do the world tour next year.
Okay.
Go to Kenya too.
You have to. I think Kenya should be the #1 destination for anybody who wants to travel. You know, be it in Africa, within Africa, or you know, whoever is out of Africa. Yeah.
Yes, and actually from France, they're quite scared to travel to Africa. They don't really know where to go and how to do it and who to trust. So I think it's very important to talk about the destination, because I already been in Africa, not in Kenya, but I've been to Senegal and Cameroon, and you know, and I think it's amazing. And you have so many things to see, and the landscape, and I mean the culture. You talked about diversity, and this is something very important. And I mean, you learn so much when you go there. So definitely, I will go to Kenya, I'm sure, one day. But I will tell you. All right. So I think I will ask you something that I like the most. No, not the most, but I like so much. It's what's the main dishes in Kenya? What should we eat? What should we taste? Tell us.
When you go there, you know, Kenyans, I think the #1 delicacy, from what I've observed, is grilled meat, something we call nyama choma. And nyama, you know, means meat, and then choma means grilled. And Kenyans absolutely love it. It's at every party, in the bars and clubs at night. You know, they always have someone grilling meat, you know, in the kitchen or out in the open air in the yard. And so, you know, you absolutely have to try this, because I have tried reproducing it, you know, in other places where I've lived, and also, you know, meeting up with Kenyans in other parts of the world. We've tried to reproduce it, but it really has the same taste. You know, it really has the same taste as the one you have in Kenya. So it is very particular, you know. I thought grilled meat is grilled meat everywhere, but there's something quite particular about it. And you know, I don't know, maybe it comes from the animals, you know, the cows and the goats, you know, and how they're fed and brought up. I think it's a very organic lifestyle for them, you know, because many of them are brought up or kept in ranches, you know, and ranches that you have in many parts of the country. And so there's this particular taste about it that I just can't seem to find anywhere else. And it brings people together. It really does bring people together. If somebody invites you to Nyama Choma while you're in Kenya, please make a point of going, and you know, accompany that with two bottles of Tusker, which is the local beer, which is quite good. You know, I love it. You can't be more Kenyan than that. Tusker, nyama choma, and something called ugali, which is really maize flour that is cooked with water into some kind of cake, you know, cake like substance, you know, which is quite malleable, you know. So you eat it with the meat or any other sauces. I would say that's the #1 dish. And other than that, you know, you have, depending on where you are, and this is where the question of diversity comes in, from all the different tribes. Then you have many other dishes. You know, it's an assortment depending on what culture you're trying to taste. So at the coast, you know, you have a lot of dishes with coconut milk put into a lot of stuff. You know, coconut milk in fish eaten with cassava. You have grilled cassava. You have a lot of seafood. You know, from the coast, and then you go into the interior, then you have, I don't know, at the lake region, you have nice tilapia from Lake Victoria, which is many times, when you go to the Lake Victoria, just close there by the shore, you have little sheds where the fishermen actually sell their catch for the day, and you get fresh fish. It's actually taken from the boat into the frying pan, and you get it on your plate, in a couple of minutes. You have that with some ugali and some fresh vegetables from the local farms, and it's absolutely incredible. And you have a lot of fresh produce in Kenya, so the foods always have a vibrancy of taste that I've not been able to find anywhere else. And it's you have all that and diversity plus. So it's something
Wow.
to respect.
It's
Yes.
nice, it's almost 7 o'clock in France and I'm hungry now, so I'm listening what you're talking about. I'm like, okay, this is
Yeah.
interesting. I never heard about that before and I never test, so
Mhm.
definitely. Is it spicy? I'm asking.
I would say compared to our brothers and sisters in the west of Africa, it's not as spicy because I've had Senegalese food and food from Cote d'Ivoire and Cameroon, and the peppers they put in it, it's something. I've never had that before meeting my brothers and sisters from from the west. I would not say it's spicy. Sometimes maybe if you're the coast, they like spicy food,
Okay.
uh, and which is no surprise because then you had all the spices being grown not too far from the coast of Kenya, in the islands of Zanzibar. You have the Zanzibar spices, but it's the spice for flavor, not just the spice for hotness. It's the spice for flavor, So
Okay.
I would say it is spicy in that sense, of
Okay.
flavor,
Yeah.
but hotness,
Nice.
then the trophy goes to our friends
Yeah,
in the
that's
west.
interesting actually because I was thinking it would be spicy because I'm from Reunion Island, which is
Yeah,
not that far basically from Madagascar, and
yeah,
and we
yeah.
eat spicy a lot. But I
Hmm.
didn't know. I know in Africa where I've been, Senegal, Cameroon, they eat spicy a lot.
Hmm.
But the first time I'm hearing that you don't eat much spicy, so that's interesting for the one that don't like. I
Yeah,
do love it, but that's okay. I will test anyway.
but you can find a lot of spicy food, especially in the islands and at the coast, but in the interior, I don't think I've come across very spicy dishes, you know.
All right.
Mm.
Okay, nice. Wow. Well, plenty of information. I love that. So now I'm thinking, well, so we've been talking, well, we're talking so much. I was thinking about the activities. So what type of activity I can do? I know there is safaris, but there is any other activities that you could recommend and what should we do there?
Hmm. Well, for me, I think my number one activity is enjoying the beach, enjoying the coast of Kenya. There are very few beaches in the world that compare, to this one in Kenya, especially in the south coast. You have white sandy beaches with crystal clear blue waters. Uh,
Mm.
it's straight out of a movie. You have the palm trees, with the wind rustling in the leaves and the water splashing against the beach. It's very relaxing. If you like to sunbathe, get a bit of a tan, then it's the perfect spot. The cocktails are scrumptious. So if you're looking to relax and enjoy a tropical experience, then that is my number one experience. Just going to the beach, and at the beach, it doesn't end there. Then you can go out into the water, snorkeling, deep sea diving. You have beautiful corals in the north coast. There's a place called Malindi where you can do some deep sea diving, but also in the south coast you have Diani, and I think you have a lot of marine reserves around that area. One of my favorites is actually called Wassini Island, close to Diani, where you can just you go there, you pay, I think, not more than 50 euros, 30 to 50 euros for 2 to 3 hours of diving. So you rent the equipment and everything, and you go out on a dive, and it's absolutely beautiful. You have a diversity of creatures, fish and turtles, that come to
I love
to reproduce there. Exactly. I think it's the leather greenback turtles, or I'm not so sure which kind, but you have this kind of sea animals, and so that's my number one experience. What I want to enjoy first and foremost when I go to Kenya is the beach. And at the beach, then you have the people and the culture of the coast, which is quite particular, compared to many of the interior. I think it's more laid back, uh, and also it's a lot more fun because it's a very touristic area, right? So if be it nice daytime activities, I don't know, like snorkeling, diving, windsurfing. If you like water sports, you have all that at the beach. Then at night, you can put on your best dress, go out to town. You have wonderful bars and restaurants and clubs with vibrant nightlife. People love to dance.
Yeah.
It's absolutely that. So for me, first and foremost, it's the coast. Other than that, the interior is also quite beautiful and very diverse. Geographically, you have the desert or quasi-desert areas of the northeast, which have spectacular views as well, of the dunes and the semi-arid and arid climate. And also you have, the lakes of the western region. You should go experience that. So once you leave the beach, as you're going for safari, do some kind of road trip. Get to experience what is in between, right? So from Mombasa, which is now the major coastal city, take the highway, up as you're going into Nairobi, branch out a bit, into the regions, into the villages, try to discover some places. I think you love the views, and you always find a place to stay and people to encounter and stuff like that. It's relatively safe. Very quite safe. I've never seen somebody going on a road trip to discover the country and come back and tell me I had a bad experience. So road trip, explore the beach. Safari is a must. And and also in that space you have a large spectrum of activity depending on your budget. Recently I was also looking at something that I would definitely love to do. It's actually a horse ride safari. So you go into the safari, but not just on the normal tourist track, but if you're a lover of horses and you know how to ride, then you can get up on horse. You have camping areas that you go to spend the night, and the next day you continue. So you have things like this, and I think the Kenyans are also getting very creative about the experiences that they can offer to tourists who come into the country, especially during these periods where innovation seems to be a great factor in all industries. Yeah.
Wow. I love that. Okay, so basically I stopped with the safari, and now I know the beaches. This is very nice. It seems to be a destination for everything. So everyone's needs something. You just go there and you find everything you like. It could be safaris, it could be activities, it could be just relaxing. And wow.
And another thing, by the way, that I think a lot of people would like is hiking. There's a lot of mountains and incredible hill chains, in the country. And so if you love to hike, there's Mount Kenya, there's Mount Kilimanjaro, which is not too far. Mount Longonot, which a lot of the locals like to hike. If you're not into the mountains, maybe try some hills. You have Ngong Hills, which is not too far from Nairobi City. So hiking, which also gives you the other advantage of some incredible, spectacular views from the summits. Yeah, hiking is also something I would definitely recommend.
Wow. Okay, that's a perfect destination for everyone. This is great. What should I bring from Kenya? Is there any handcraft that you do there?
Any what?
On craft, something that you do there, any memory that I can bring?
Yes, I mean, since it's very touristic, you have a lot of souvenir shops. You know, you have a lot of souvenir shops, which showcase the artwork of the many talented youth we have in Kenya. So you always have, you know, some kind of craft, maybe sculptures of of the big five animals. People love this, you know. That's not something small. You can get something small to the from the size of your finger to something quite huge, you know, that you put out in your front yard. You know, a big sculpture. So everywhere you go, you know, especially in the touristic areas of the coast, Masai Mara, or on the way to these touristic areas, you find a lot of curiosity shops, you know, curio shops and souvenir shops to get something. And that's the thing, you know, it's very diverse. You can get paintings to sculptures. Mostly, it's, you know, paintings and sculptures. Maybe seashells, you know, incredible seashells. If you like you want to remember the beach. What else could you bring from there? I mean, cloth. You know, you have very beautiful fabrics that the locals use. You know, to also make their Sunday best, or, you know, very vibrant, colorful outfits that you've seen a lot of African women and men wear. You know, this very Afrocentric, you know, fashion sense. You have incredible designers in Kenya who make these things tailored, so you could always get something. You know, if it's not
I love
sculpture or painting, then it's cloth, maybe a shoe. You know, something like this. There's always something that could remind you of Kenya, and thanks to the talent of a lot of the youth in the country. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, yeah, definitely. I'm thinking about you know, the dress that you can do with the piece of the wax or stuff like that. You know, you can do
Yeah,
everything. I love that.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, we've been through so many information. So I'm like, okay, what should I ask now? Did I forget something?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. Maybe if you choose like three things to do, like the must-see you would like to do, if you have to list the three of them that definitely we have to do, what?
Mhm. I would say first of all, you know, when you go to Kenya, start with the beach, go to the coast. You know, go to the coast, get some sun, enjoy the water. You know, the Indian Ocean is very warm. The beaches are very clear. You know, enjoy yourself, discover the caves. You know, you have a lot of historical sites also there. You know, caves and forests close to the coast. You know, that have also endangered species and very particular animals specific to that area. So, you know, first of all, what I like to do is first enjoy the beach. Second, you know, go maybe to the central area, you know, around Mount Kenya for hikes and just to get a bit cold. Enjoy the Kenyan highlands, you know, from the coast. Now I go to the highlands, and then afterwards, you know, I have to enjoy 3 or 4 nights of Masai Mara. So, you know, the beach in the coast, central area, Mount Kenya, which is not too far from Nairobi, you know, the capital, so that you can also enjoy the Nairobi nightlife and, you know, the vibrancy of the city. And then, you know, to unwind and relax and prepare to go back home, go enjoy the Masai Mara, see the animals, and this is the most beautiful end to your trip that you could have, you know, at the Mara.
So maybe I think I ask now, what is your favorite restaurant, favorite bar, favorite
Mhm.
place to go out, like that, because
Yes. Going out, you know, and nightlife, I have to say, is the hub is Nairobi. You cannot beat Nairobi, you know, the capital city, Nairobi. There's always something going on. There's always something going on, Monday to Friday. You know, there's a lot of parties. You know, the Kenyan people love to party. I mean, I think we're the number one. party destination in Eastern Central Africa. You know, people come from Uganda, from Somalia, from countries across Africa to enjoy Nairobi nightlife. You know, Nairobi nightlife is it's a sensation. You know, you cannot be in Africa and not enjoy Nairobi by night. And in Nairobi, I think the place where I love to go most is the city center is also it's okay if you want to discover the very raw Nairobi. But I most of the time, if you'll find me in the Westlands region, which is I would say northern Nairobi, to a bit to the north of Nairobi. So as you're leaving Nairobi, going more into the central region, then you have the Westlands area, which is usually very vibrant. And Nairobi is always changing. There's a lot of places coming up. Some places close down, some places open. Nairobians love to try a lot of things. So I would say going out, just try a lot of things in Nairobi. You know, get some friends, and this is why you need to talk to people when you get there. You know, they always know where's the best things happening. You know, best restaurants for this food and that food. Nairobi is becoming very international. You have a lot of international restaurants opening up, Japanese, Chinese, very local traditional foods. I don't know, Mexican and stuff like that. So you know, you can find a bit of everything. And Nairobi does a very good job at mixing this local and international vibe. So it's something for everyone. Personally, when I'm in Nairobi, something I love to enjoy is just some local cuisine, you know, some very African dishes. And this I have a city center, a place called Ronalo, you know, Osewe Foods, Mama Oliech, you know, there are some very local places that you could go. Even in Mombasa, you know, I like to just stroll by the beach, come across maybe a small restaurant where a local woman has set up shop, and she's making fresh catch that Hassan has gotten early that morning, you know, with a side of cassava and coconut milk, you know. So I like to explore this, you know, the very local cuisine, which is, in my opinion, usually the best one, you know. Just that local woman making her dishes on an open fire, you know, and selling it by the beach. It's very hard to beat that. You know, it doesn't get more authentic than that.
You know, I'm listening to you talking about Kenya. No, I'm not only okay, I'm going to visit, to travel, and to go in holidays, but no, I'm like, okay, maybe I should go there and just live there and do something and work on the development of the country. So if I decide to do something like that, what should I do? Is there anything that I can do to help, I don't know, the development of the country? And tell us about that.
Yes, I mean, Kenya's growth story is one of the strongest in the world. You know, like before coronavirus hit, you had growth figures of at least 5% a year in GDP. And tourism, you know, for that matter, is a very strong contributor to the economic bottom line of Kenya. I think it is the second foreign exchange earner right after agricultural exports. So just by you traveling to Kenya, you are supporting Kenyan tourism. So you're doing something for Kenyan GDP. And while you're in Kenya, you know, there's a campaign, you know, buy Kenya, build Kenya. So try, you know, go out, you know, experience something. As I'm talking about this, you know, local woman who sells food that her son caught in the ocean early that morning. You know, just by you doing that, experiencing the country, that is already helping something. And if you want to go further, you know, set up maybe some operations, some business. Kenya, Nairobi has a very vibrant startup scene. You know, you have some of the best connectivity and the best network infrastructure in the continent. And if you want to set up something, a startup that is focused, I don't know, on agriculture and tourism, travel, luxury, Kenya is a hub, for this kind of activity. So, and the government has made it much, much easier for people to set up shop. There's always a lot of help. They've set up specific agencies to help, business entrepreneurs set up business. They're called Huduma centers. Huduma, which is the Swahili word for help or aid assistance. So an assistance center, Huduma center, which you find in all counties of the country. So if you have an idea, Kenyans are always willing, and Kenyans are very entrepreneurial. They're looking for partners, international partners. And one of the things that I find rather maybe sad, is that many people are not aware of the incredible opportunity that you have in this country. And this is part of my job, as Chief Operating Officer at Kenya France Business Club, to bring these opportunities to light, to be the ushering force, for many international entrepreneurs and companies and investors to see, this side of Kenya, which I think has been rather, underwater or not clear, for a lot of people. And now as this Africa Rising narrative takes shape, I think my work becomes more and more important in bringing this to light. So there's always something to do. The growth story is is unprecedented in Kenya and in the world, and so just try it. A lot of people have set up shop. I accompanied as a business developer a consulting company that was looking to set up shop in Kenya in 2015. They had a wonderful experience. I had a great time, consulting for them in their endeavor. And so we're always open. Kenya is open for business. And I think you'll see this, in all the narrative of the government, the investment authorities, and all the individual counties across the region. Kenya is a land of amazing opportunity. I don't think I could insist on that enough.
Yeah, awesome destination, amazing opportunities. I think you said everything and very well. I'm so impressed. I'm like, okay, Kenya, definitely. I will have to go there. I don't know. I don't know if we forgot anything. I don't know. Did we forget something about Kenya? Something that you would like to add? Any other recommendation? We've been to so much information, so it's very clear. And I don't know. I'm like, I don't have question now. I'm like, if you want to add something.
Yeah. Well, maybe our audience might be interested in how Kenya is dealing with the pandemic, and the safety of tourism. So the borders are opening on the 1st of August, and I think just this week, the chairman of Kenya Airways, which is the national carrier, Michael Joseph, said that the bookings are looking quite good, not back to 2019 levels. That is going to take some time, but he's looking at a load factor on the airplanes of around 60% to 65%. So they've put in a lot of measures in assuring the safety of travelers in terms of PPE for all the staff and personnel at the airport and on the plane. Kenya has put in place an 8-point economic stimulus package, which was unveiled on May 23rd this year. And tourism is going to receive quite a significant amount of that package, which is around $56 million to cushion against the impact of the crisis. And then a further $20 million, which is set aside to renovate and support the renovation of the facilities and restructuring of business operations. So once you come to Kenya, you will find all the destinations that you love in pristine shape, renovated, and all the safety measures taken into account to ensure that you have an unforgettable experiences. Kenyans being very innovative. There's a lot of innovation that is going on to take advantage of the wide open spaces that you have in most of these tourist destinations. So there's no lack of space for social distancing, and things of the sort. So I would just like to calm our audience, and also let them know, rest assured that I think Kenya has taken all the necessary measures to ensure that tourists and locals alike continue having an unforgettable experiences within the borders of this beautiful country.
Wow. Amazing. Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, really, this is everything was expecting. I mean, all those information, those tips, and the current situation, which is very important to know, because the information today it's quite difficult to have. If you want to travel somewhere, you just don't know where to start. Now you don't know if the information you find on internet is true. So basically, I've started this because I know, talking with the local or the person from the destination, we get the right information. So that's exactly what you did, and that was amazing. Well, thanks a lot. I don't know if you still want to add something, because for me, I have all the information I need to discover this beautiful country, and I will go to Kenya. And I'm sure the audience will. And the replay will be available on my YouTube channel. Anyway, I'm going to send you all those details. How do you say thank you in Swahili?
You say asante. Asante.
Asante?
Yes, asante.
Asante. It's a perfect word to end this interview. Actually, on the Instagram, I only have 1 hour, so I think it's almost 1 hour we are talking, and it was a pleasure to have all this information. So, asante again.
Karibu, you're welcome. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me, Emeline.
Thank you, Bill. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.